In the dim light of dawn, as the mist began to lift from the fjords of Scandinavia, a fearsome figure emerged from the shadows, the Viking Berserker. These warriors, infamous for their ferocity and seemingly unquenchable rage in battle, carved out a significant place in the annals of Viking history, playing a crucial role in the expansion of Norse culture across Europe during the 8th to 11th centuries. But who were these formidable fighters, and what drove them into the unrelenting conflicts of their time? As we journey into the heart of Norse mythology, battle lore, and the psychology behind Berserker frenzy, we begin to uncover the truths behind these legendary figures who are both a source of fear and admiration. The term Berserker likely has its origins in the Old Norse word berserker, which translates to bear shirt. This name highlights the costume and spiritual affiliation these warriors had with the fierce bear, a symbol of strength and primal ferocity. Clad in animal skins, particularly those of bears, Berserkers are said to have drawn on the spirit of the bear during combat. This connection to nature was not merely about attire. It illustrated a deep spiritual reverence for the untamed aspects of the world around them. Many tales in Norse mythology reflect this bond, particularly with deities like Odin, the All-Father, who was believed to have endowed these warriors with supernatural strength and fury in battle. Legends tell of berserkers entering a trance-like state, referred to as berserkergang, which made them impervious to pain and fear, as if they had stepped beyond the bounds of human limitation. In the heat of combat, these warriors would charge with wild eyes, unkempt hair, and a primal howl that struck terror into their enemies' hearts. The phenomenon of the battle frenzy, a hallmark of berserker behavior, is central to their mystique. When entering this state, berserkers displayed remarkable physical prowess and unrelenting aggression. Historical accounts narrate how these warriors would unleash terrifying screams and grunts, raising their weapons in a fierce battle cry before plunging headlong into the fray with little regard for their own safety. This state of mind transformed them into near unstoppable forces, capable of inspiring their fellow fighters to act with the same reckless valor. The psychological impact of a berserker on the battlefield cannot be overstated. Their ferocity would often galvanize Viking warriors around them, promoting a collective frenzy of courage and aggression against their foes. Beyond their reputation as fierce warriors, it is notable that many berserkers would enter battle without armor, relying solely on their physical might and inherent ferocity. This practice, while ostensibly reckless, was rooted in a culture that celebrated the valor and glory of battle. Berserkers were often depicted as towering figures of strength, embodying the ideal of the warrior ethos prevalent in Norse society. Accounts suggest that before combat, many berserkers consumed various herbs and possibly even psychoactive substances to enhance the effects of their rage. Some theories propose the use of hallucinogenic mushrooms or compounds derived from plants like the deadly henbane, which could amplify their senses and evoke a profound detachment from reality. Despite their fearsome image, the life of a berserker extended beyond the realm of violence and bloodshed. Within their clans, many berserkers were revered figures, commanding respect not only as warriors, but also as leaders and protectors. They held significant status in their communities, often taking on leadership roles that extended into political spheres and community decision-making. Their ability to influence the outcomes of battles and even sway the course of fate made them indispensable. However, this duality of strength and vulnerability came with its own set of challenges. Berserkers often faced the internal struggle of managing their intense rage, particularly in the aftermath of battle, when the euphoria of frenzy faded into exhaustion and clarity. The realization of their violent actions while caught up in the storm of berserker gang could lead to shame or remorse, thus creating a complex emotional landscape for these formidable warriors. The Viking Age drew to a close. The image of the berserker gradually transitioned into the realm of legend. Over the years, their stories became entwined with folklore and myth, often romanticized within the sagas that depict the heroic exploits of Norse culture. Berserkers were portrayed as wild heroes, fighting not only for individual glory, but also to uphold the honor of their clans and families. This blending of history and myth allowed their legacy to flourish in the cultural consciousness of successive generations. The fierce spirit of the Berserker transcended time, inspiring countless authors, filmmakers, and game designers who have drawn from their narrative wellspring to create modern depictions of the Rage Warrior archetype. Today, the legacy of the Berserker continues to captivate our imagination. They serve as symbols of raw power and the indomitable human spirit, standing at the intersection of history and myth. This modern fascination can also be observed in contemporary practitioners of Norse paganism, who often delve into the concept of the Berserker through various cultural lenses. Many explore themes of spirituality, transformation, and the balance between human civilization and primal instincts. Neo-pagan groups sometimes invoke the spirit of the Berserker in rituals, seeking to channel this immense energy and wildness into personal empowerment and community connection. In our quest to understand the Viking Berserker, we uncover not only a powerful warrior archetype, but also a multifaceted character defined by the struggles of rage, honor, and identity. The Berserker symbolizes both the power of nature and the chaotic forces that can dwell within us, reflecting a complex relationship with the world around them. As we sift through the layers of myth and history, their image emerges not only as a fearsome fighter of the North, but also as an emblem of the eternal struggle to balance chaos with the need for community and duty. As we stand at the precipice of our own understanding of these legendary figures, we find ourselves drawn to the raw energy and spirit that they encapsulate. The next time you hear the call of battle or feel the howling wind through the fjords, remember the Berserker, a warrior not merely defined by rage, but by the intertwining threads of spirit, culture, and the deep untold stories of humanity. The legacy of the Berserker, much like the timeless landscape of Scandinavia itself, remains a reminder of the wild freedom and ferocity that lie within us all. In the realm of ancient mythology and speculation, few tales capture the imagination quite like that of the lost city of Atlantis. This sunken civilization, often depicted as a technologically advanced and utopian society, has intrigued historians, archaeologists, and dreamers for centuries. The myth of Atlantis, with its vibrant descriptions of a sophisticated culture that vanished without a trace, raises tantalizing questions about human history, the fragility of civilization, and the depths of the ocean. As we delve into this enigmatic narrative, we will explore the origins of the legend, its enduring allure, and the various theories that have emerged regarding the fabled city's existence. The primary source of the Atlantis story can be traced back to the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE, Plato provides a detailed account of a proud and powerful civilization that existed around 9,000 years before his time. According to Plato, Atlantis was an island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which scholars commonly identify as the Strait of Gibraltar. Described as larger than Libya and Asia combined, this island nation was characterized by its grand palaces, advanced technology, and a society that thrived on balance between nature and human ingenuity. However, the story takes a tragic turn as Atlantis, in its hubris, fell out of favor with the gods and was ultimately punished, sinking into the depths of the ocean in a single day and night of catastrophic upheaval. Plato's account, while deeply imaginative, has led researchers to ponder whether there was a kernel of truth to the tale. Many skeptics attribute the myth to Plato's philosophical musings on the dangers of hubris and the ideal state of society, while others believe he may have been influenced by real historical events or societies. Ancient cataclysms, such as volcanic eruptions or tsunamis, could have inspired the story, giving rise to speculation that Atlantis was based on actual civilizations that perished due to natural disasters. Some historians suggest the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete could be a candidate, as it experienced a significant decline following the eruption of the Thera volcano around 1600 BCE, leading to widespread destruction and the collapse of its advanced society. The enduring allure of Atlantis has sparked countless theories about its potential location and the reasons behind its supposed disappearance. Over Over the centuries, ambitious explorers and scholars have proposed various sites for the lost city. Some have posited that it could be hidden beneath the icy expanses of Antarctica, while others suggest it might lie submerged in the waters of the Caribbean or even the Mediterranean Sea. The notion of a lost city beneath the waves has inspired many expeditions and research initiatives, often driven by the desire to uncover truths about human history and civilization. Each proposed location bears its own narrative of hope and mystery, igniting the imaginations of those who dream of rediscovering a lost world. Adventurers and archaeologists alike have pursued the Atlantis mystery with enthusiasm, many seeking to uncover evidence that could validate or challenge Plato's account. The field of underwater archaeology has provided new technologies and methodologies to explore submerged sites that could be linked to Atlantis. Researchers have discovered ancient harbors, sunken settlements, and remnants of coastal cities, raising the possibility that the story of Atlantis may have roots in human history that are lost to time. Advances in sonar mapping and archaeological exploration of the ocean floor have revealed fascinating underwater landscapes, igniting dreams of a lost civilization that could hold secrets about humanity's past. Fiction has also played a significant role in shaping the popular perception of Atlantis. The tale has penetrated modern culture, inspiring everything from literature and films to video games and speculative documentaries. Atlantis has become synonymous with the idea of a lost utopia, with stories often embellishing its advanced technologies, mystical powers, and the quest for knowledge. From the imaginative retellings of Jules Verne to the animated adventures of Disney's Atlantis: The Lost Empire, the story has transformed into a modern myth, intertwining elements of adventure, fantasy, and the timeless human quest for discovery. Moreover, the myth of Atlantis has taken on deeper philosophical implications over time. The allure of a lost civilization often reflects humanity's yearning for a more harmonious existence, a society that balances technological advancement with ethical considerations. The cautionary tale of Atlantis speaks to the consequences of overreach and the importance of humility in the face of nature. It raises questions about the sustainability of modern civilization and our connection to the environment, echoing themes that resonate with contemporary discussions surrounding climate change and ecological balance. In the realm of psychology, the myth of Atlantis reveals deeper facets of the human psyche. The idea of a lost city represents our collective fears and desires. It encapsulates themes of loss, memory, and the transcendence of history. The echoes of a civilization swallowed by the sea remind us of the impermanence of human achievements and the fragility of life. Our fascination with cosmology, mythology, and the unknown often draws us to dark depths and hidden places, where we can only speculate about what lies beneath. Atlantis embodies the eternal search for meaning in a world that is often shrouded in mystery, inviting us to ponder our own existence and the legacies we will leave behind. As we reflect on the enigma of Atlantis, we uncover not only a captivating tale of a sunken civilization, but also an exploration of human ambition, failure, and the pursuit of knowledge. The story continues to inspire us to seek answers about our past, reminding us of the hidden narratives that can shape our understanding of civilization. Whether Atlantis was a historical reality or a philosophical construct crafted by Plato's imagination, its legacy endures as a symbol of both discovery and caution, a testament to the peaks and valleys of human civilization. Ultimately, the lost city of Atlantis remains a shadowy puzzle, a tantalizing mystery beneath the waves that has eluded resolution for millennia. As our quest for understanding continues, we are left to imagine what truths might lie hidden in the depths of the ocean. Perhaps one day, as technology advances and exploration continues, the remnants of this legendary civilization will be uncovered, shedding light on the profound mystery of our collective past. Until then, the allure of Atlantis beckons us to dream of sunken cities and forgotten legacies, weaving the narrative of our shared human experience through the tide of time. In the heart of Germany, where ancient trees whisper secrets and mist-shrouded hills roll into the distance, lies a realm steeped in folklore and mystery, the Black Forest. This enchanting woodland, renowned for its picturesque landscapes and deep-rooted traditions, serves as the backdrop for numerous tales, not least of which is the haunting legend of the Witch of the Black Forest. A figure cloaked in the shadows of both fear and fascination, she embodies the complex interplay between nature, magic, and humanity's enduring myths. As we venture into the depths of this legendary narrative, we will explore the origins of the witch's legend, the cultural significance of her story, and the enduring impact of witchcraft on European folklore. The legend of the Witch of the Black Forest typically centers around a mysterious woman, often portrayed as having profound knowledge of herbs, potions, and the natural world. She is both a healer and a harbinger of doom, someone who walks the fine line between benevolence and malevolence. In many tales, she is depicted as a solitary figure, living deep within the forest, away from the encroachments of society, embodying both the wisdom of nature and the fear of the unknown. This duality captures the essence of the witch archetype prevalent across various cultures, portraying her as a custodian of ancient knowledge and, at times, a figure of public terror. The Witch of the Black Forest can be linked to the broader historical context of witchcraft in Europe, particularly during the late medieval and early modern periods. This era was marked by a surge in witch hunts, fueled by social, political, and religious upheaval. Women who displayed nonconformist behavior, those who practiced herbal medicine, or those who simply lived on the fringes of village life often found themselves accused of witchcraft. The forest, with its secluded and wild terrain, became a powerful symbol of where the other dwelled, the unknown, the uncivilized, and the feared. Folklore around witches gained traction as tales of women conjuring curses, spells, and supernatural occurrences served to reinforce societal norms and fears. In many iterations of the legend, the Witch of the Black Forest is portrayed as possessing magical powers that could sway the balance of nature. She was said to summon storms, command the creatures of the woods, or heal ailments using her intimate understanding of the forest's flora and fauna. This connection to the natural world emphasizes an important cultural motif: the witch as an embodiment of nature's untamed spirit. The forest itself, lush, dark, and full of life, serves as a conduit for her powers, echoing the ancient belief that nature holds both healing and destructive capacities. Thus, the witch becomes a mirror for humanity's relationship with nature, revealing how fear and reverence are often two sides of the same coin. Regional tales often intertwine the figure of the witch with traditional folklore, resulting in a rich tapestry of narratives that highlight local customs and beliefs. In some stories, the Witch of the Black Forest is depicted as a wise old woman who aids lost travelers, offering them shelter and food. Her compassion stands in stark contrast to the fearful perception of witches as malignant entities. This portrayal suggests an understanding that the witch, like the forest itself, can embody both nurturing and perilous qualities. It reflects the complexities of human emotion, how love, fear, wisdom, and danger can coexist in a single narrative. Central to the lore of the Witch of the Black Forest is the role of transformation and empowerment. Many tales emphasize the witch's ability to change form, embodying a range of creatures from wolves to owls. This capacity for transformation resonates with archetypal themes found in mythology, where figures who traverse the boundary between human and animal often possess deep wisdom or unique insights into the natural world. The metamorphosis of the witch reflects the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth, themes that are especially prominent in the seasonal cycles of the forest. The witch becomes a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the enduring spirit of nature, embodying the capacity to navigate and thrive within life's complexities. The narrative of the Witch of the Black Forest has also influenced modern culture, inspiring literature, art, and film. The witch's image has evolved over centuries, morphing into both an object of fear and a subject of fascination in contemporary storytelling. With the rise of interest in the supernatural and the mystical, modern representations of witches often reclaim the narrative, emphasizing empowerment, feminine strength, and connection to the earth. Today's witch is frequently reimagined as a figure who celebrates the natural world, offering insights into herbalism, healing, and environmental stewardship, challenging the historically negative connotations associated with witchcraft. Moreover, the Witch of the Black Forest signifies the broader cultural exploration of spirituality and the occult. As people seek to reconnect with nature and unravel the mysteries of existence, the witch becomes a potent archetype of transformation and self-discovery. This resurgence aligns with movements that honor ancient wisdom, holistic healing, and the reclamation of female power. In many ways, the witch embodies a journey into the depths of one's psyche, a confrontation with the shadow self, and the acceptance of the complexities inherent in the human experience. As we navigate the intricate landscape of the Witch of the Black Forest, we come to appreciate her as more than just a figure of folklore. She represents the deep connection between humanity, nature, and the spiritual continuum that binds us all. Her legend serves as a reminder of the stories we tell ourselves and the dualities we grapple with. The tension between the known and the unknown, the nurturer and the destroyer, the advocate for harmony and the bearer of chaos. Ultimately, the tale of the Witch of the Black Forest invites us to explore our own relationship with the natural world, reflecting on the lessons embedded in folklore and mythology. It reminds us that the forest, with its ancient trees and deep-rooted mysteries, is not just a physical space, but a metaphorical landscape that resonantly mirrors the complexities of the human spirit. Through the witch's story, we are invited to engage with the wildness of nature, wrestle with our fears and hopes, and embrace the profound magic that resides within and around us. The legend of the Witch of the Black Forest, whispering from the shadows of the trees, endures as a poignant representation of the timeless interplay between humanity, nature, and the stories that continue to define our collective consciousness. In the annals of ancient Egypt, where the sun casts long shadows over monumental pyramids and vast deserts, one of the most captivating and ominous legends is that of the Dark Pharaoh, the cursed guardian of the tomb. This mysterious figure embodies the intersection of power, death, and the metaphysical, captivating historians and enthusiasts alike with tales of an entombed ruler whose vengeful spirit haunts those who dare to disturb his eternal rest. As we delve into this haunting narrative, we will explore the origins of this legend, its cultural significance, and the enduring fascination with the ancient practices surrounding death and the afterlife. The legend of the Dark Pharaoh often revolves around a powerful Egyptian ruler known for his immense wealth, unmatched authority, and enigmatic demeanor. Unlike his contemporaries, this pharaoh is often portrayed as a figure shrouded in darkness, symbolizing not just his misdeeds, but also the heavier implications of his legacy. Historical accounts suggest that he ruled during a tumultuous period characterized by intrigue, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of immortality. According to various sources, he sought to preserve his reign beyond death, leading to a series of elaborate tomb constructions and burial rites infused with arcane rituals. Central to the tale is the tomb of the Dark Pharaoh, a lavish burial site filled with treasures, artwork, and protective enchantments meant to guard against intruders and ensure his safe passage into the afterlife. However, this tomb is reputed to be cursed, said to unleash calamity upon anyone who disturbs the pharaoh's slumber. The notion of curses in ancient Egypt was pervasive. Pharaohs were believed to wield immense power even in death, and it was a widespread belief that desecrating their tombs could invoke their wrath. As stories of misfortune befell those who ventured into the tomb of the Dark Pharaoh began to surface, the legend garnered a chilling reputation, intertwining with the broader narrative of cursed burial sites throughout history. Many accounts of the Dark Pharaoh's curse interlace elements of supernatural phenomena and foreboding omens. Visitors to his tomb reportedly faced inexplicable accidents, strange illnesses, and even death, fostering an enduring mythos that echoed the well-documented curse of the pharaohs. Scholars often draw parallels to the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, where a series of unfortunate events befell archaeologists and treasure hunters, reinforcing the notion that the dead could exact vengeance upon those who disturbed their resting places. The anxiety surrounding forbidden knowledge and the potential consequences of unsettling ancient secrets enhanced the legend of the Dark Pharaoh, transforming him into a cautionary tale warning against hubris and the disrespect of ancient customs. Culturally, the Dark Pharaoh serves as a representative archetype of the duality of life and death, power and retribution. His figure embodies the fear of mortality and the yearning for immortality, themes deeply rooted in Egyptian mythology. The elaborate burial practices reflected a profound belief in the afterlife, with pharaohs viewed as intermediaries between the divine and mortal worlds. The Dark Pharaoh, however, highlights the darker side of this obsession. His quest for eternal life is marred by a pervasive sense of dread, suggesting that power derived from mortal transgressions often leads to grave consequences. His tale resonates with humanity's age-old fear of death and the moral decay that can accompany the pursuit of absolute authority. The legend also connects to the broader themes of sacredness and the sanctity of burial sites in ancient cultures worldwide. The act of honoring the dead was paramount in Egyptian society, with grave goods and offerings meant to ensure a smooth journey into the afterlife. This meticulous attention to burial rituals reflects a deep reverence for ancestors and a recognition of the delicate boundaries between life and death. The Dark Pharaoh, as a cursed guardian, underscores the potential for desecration to disrupt this balance, serving as a reminder that the afterlife is not simply an extension of life, but a realm governed by its distinct rules and respect. Moreover, the myth of the Dark Pharaoh speaks to the human fascination with the unknown and the mysteries that lie beneath the surface. The tombs of ancient Egypt, with their labyrinthine passages, intricate hieroglyphs, and alluring treasures, beckon to explorers, archaeologists, and treasure hunters alike. Yet the legend serves as a sobering reminder of the unknown consequences of delving too deeply into the past. Many adventurers drawn by the allure of riches or knowledge often grapple with the question, at what cost does one seek to uncover hidden truths? The story of the Dark Pharaoh reinforces the notion that some mysteries are better left undisturbed, echoing through the ages as a testament to the thin line between discovery and destruction. In contemporary culture, the tale of the Dark Pharaoh has been adopted and adapted into various forms of media, from literature to films and games. The archetype of the pharaoh as a dark and powerful figure resonates with audiences, often portrayed as a haunting antagonist with ties to ancient magic and curse-laden artifacts. This modern reinterpretation emphasizes the themes of ambition, exploration, and the clash between mortals and the supernatural, while also nodding to the long-standing fascination with ancient civilizations and their mysteries. The Dark Pharaoh's descent into villainy often serves to highlight humanity's struggle with ambition, power, and the eternal question of what lies beyond death. Tourism in Egypt has also been shaped by the allure of ancient curses, as adventurous souls flock to the pyramids and tombs, driven by the desire to witness firsthand the storied legends. However, the campaign to respect archaeological sites and the dead has gained momentum, reminding visitors of the cultural significance of these ancient relics. Thus, the tale of the Dark Pharaoh serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of respecting the past, even as it captures the imagination of those who dare to explore its shadowy depths. As we reflect on the haunting legend of the Dark Pharaoh, we uncover not just a captivating tale of curses and guardianship, but also a lens through which to view humanity's relationship with death, power, and the ancient world. His story exemplifies the complexities of cultural memory, the reverence for those who came before us, and the perennial human desire for immortality. The notion of a cursed guardian of the tomb invites us to ponder the boundaries of life and death, the impact of our actions, and the legacies we leave behind. Ultimately, the Dark Pharaoh remains a compelling symbol of the mysteries that lace the fabric of our history. His tale serves as both a warning and an invitation, a call to tread carefully in the presence of the sacred and the unknown, while reflecting on the shared human experiences that connect us across time. As we delve into these ancient stories, we find echoes of our own struggles and hopes, eternally intertwined with the enigmatic past. reminding us that the shadows of history will always hold deeper implications for the living. In the annals of Japanese history, where honor and duty entwine with the sword's edge, the tale of the Ronin's revenge emerges as a gripping saga steeped in blood, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of justice. This epic narrative unfolds against the backdrop of samurai culture, exploring the profound psychological and spiritual struggles of a masterless warrior, a Ronin, whose quest for vengeance transforms him into both a formidable force and a tragic figure. As we journey through this haunting story, we will explore the origins of the Ronin, their cultural significance, and the haunting themes of loyalty, retribution, and the consequences of living by the sword. The archetype of the Ronin, a samurai without a master, arose during a tumultuous period in Japan's feudal history. When a samurai's lord fell in battle or was dishonored, his retainers were stripped of their status and livelihood, often thrust into a life of wandering and uncertainty. The Ronin became emblematic of a profound crisis of identity. Their once glorious lives filled with purpose were now shadowed by a lack of direction and societal disdain. Within this framework, the Ronin's revenge unfolds, illustrating the turbulent emotional depths of a warrior caught between unwavering loyalty to their fallen lord and the harsh realities of a world that no longer recognizes their worth. The story typically begins with a fateful event, an act of treachery that leads to the downfall of a benevolent lord. Assassination or betrayal could strike the heart of a ruler, leaving loyal retainers adrift and filled with a burning desire for retribution. Enter our protagonist, a Ronin once bound by honor, now condemned to wander the path of shadows, driven by a thirst for vengeance. As he grapples with the loss of his master, he navigates a landscape fraught with moral ambiguity, pitting his samurai code against the practicalities of survival in a lawless world. Hungry for revenge, the Ronin embarks on a journey that takes him through treacherous terrains marked by bloodshed and turmoil. Along the way, he encounters a host of characters, fellow warriors lost to their own quest for honor, cunning thieves who navigate by deception, and ordinary people trapped in the crossfire of political intrigue. Each encounter serves to deepen his resolve, simultaneously illuminating the complexities of human nature and the ramifications of vengeance. Questions of right and wrong become blurred in a world where morality often shifts with the tide of ambition. The Ronin's path often leads him into the underbelly of society, a realm of shadows and secrets where the rules of honor are disregarded. Here he must tread carefully, for betrayal is an ever-present specter. In this gritty world, he adopts the guise of a mercenary, allowing him to calculate his next move while gaining essential intelligence about the enemies he must confront. Each step taken in pursuit of his lord's nemesis introduces layers of psychological tension as the Ronin wrestles with his identity and the implications of his actions. Will vengeance elevate him to a place of honor, or will it consume him, leaving him a mere shell of the warrior he once was? As the Ronin inches closer to his quarry, the narrative builds towards a series of intense confrontations, each steeped in the weight of expectation and the lingering ghosts of the past. The final duel, often set against a dramatic landscape, a windswept cliff or a storm-soaked battlefield, serves as the emotional apex of the tale. In these climactic moments, the Ronin confronts not only his adversary, but also the haunting specters of betrayal and loyalty that have shaped his journey. This battle transcends mere physical contest, becoming a profound reckoning with his own choices and the path his life has taken. In grappling with his past, the Ronin reveals a deeper truth about the nature of revenge. The pursuit of vengeance can be intoxicating, but such a path often leads to a hollow victory and ultimately self-destruction. The resolution of the story frequently does not culminate in triumphant redemption, but instead reinforces the inevitable cost of violence and vengeance. The psychological scars that linger long after the clash of swords, leaving the Ronin with the haunting realization that revenge seldom satiates the wounds of grief and loss. This tragic arc, embedded within the framework of honor and loyalty, resonates deeply with audiences, reflecting timeless themes of mortality, the quest for identity, and the burdens that accompany the samurai code. The Ronin becomes a symbolic figure of the struggle between the individual's desires and the expectations of a world steeped in tradition, embodying the internal conflict that so many face when navigating the complexities of morality and personal vendettas. In contemporary interpretations of the Ronin's revenge, these themes find new expression in literature, film, and video games, as storytellers continue to explore the psychological and emotional nuances of the Ronin mythos. Characters inspired by this tale highlight the multifaceted nature of honor and loyalty, often grappling with their purposes in a world that is increasingly chaotic and uncertain. The story resonates with modern audiences who can see parallels in myriad contemporary struggles. The quest for justice, the burdens of past decisions, and the daunting challenge of reclaiming one's sense of self after loss. Additionally, the Ronin's revenge serves as a poignant reflection on the human condition. It is a tale of resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, a call to reflect on one's choices, and a reminder that the path we choose shapes not only our destiny, but also the legacy we leave behind. As the narrative unfolds, it encourages us to examine our own lives. What drives our motivations, and whether revenge or reconciliation can pave the way toward healing. Ultimately, the legend of the Ronin's revenge invites us into a world where blood and shadows intermingle, encouraging a deep reflection on the myriad themes that arise from vengeance, duty, and the quest for honor. Through the plight of the Ronin, we engage with fundamental questions about loyalty, morality, and the haunting realities of human existence. It serves as a timeless reminder that every blade we wield carries the weight of our choices, and that amidst the blood and shadows, the pathways to redemption often lie in confronting our deepest fears and our greatest losses. This epic narrative resonates through the ages, casting a long shadow over the human experience, intertwined with the themes that continue to shape our understanding of honor, conflict, and resolution. In the heart of a desolate countryside, where wind howls like a mournful song and shadows stretch across the land, lies the remains of an abandoned cathedral. Its once majestic spires now crumble under the weight of time, and ivy clings to the stone like the tendrils of a haunting memory. This somber place, shunned by locals and steeped in eerie folklore, is home to the legend of the demon of the abandoned cathedral, a malevolent entity that embodies the fears and sorrows of those who dared to tread its sacred halls. As we explore this captivating tale, we will unravel the origins of this legend, its chilling implications, and the existential questions it raises about faith, despair, and the shadows lurking within us all. The story begins centuries ago, when the cathedral was a thriving center of worship and community. Dedicated to a benevolent deity, it was a place where hope flourished and prayers echoed against the high arches of its interior. However, beneath the surface of devotion lay the seeds of tragedy, stories of betrayal, unfulfilled promises, and a devastating event that would forever alter its fate. The legend tells of a devoted priest who fell victim to a terrible ultimatum: abandon his faith to save his congregation, or watch as the cathedral burned, consumed by flames ignited by malefactors intent on desecrating the sanctity of the sacred space. In his desperation, the priest made a Faustian bargain, momentarily aligning himself with dark forces to save his flock. However, this act of despair invoked a curse upon the cathedral, corrupting its once holy essence and unleashing an insidious demon that would haunt the structure and its surroundings for generations. This demon, born from the priest's anguish and betrayal, became known as the demon of the abandoned cathedral, feeding on the despair and hopelessness of those who entered its domain, transforming the hallowed halls into a twisted echo of its former glory. Over the years, tales of the demon's insatiable appetite for despair and sorrow spread, warning travelers and villagers to steer clear of the cathedral. Those brave or foolish enough to enter would report ghastly encounters, whispers echoing through the aisles, shadows darting just out of sight, and an overwhelming sense of dread that lay heavy upon their hearts. Many who ventured into the cathedral seeking solace emerged changed, their spirits weighed down by an inexplicable sorrow. As the legend grew, the cathedral became a symbol of lost faith and the darkness that can lurk within even the most sacred places. But the demon's influence extended beyond the cathedral's crumbling walls. Local folklore began to weave it into the cultural fabric of the region, resulting in a series of tragic events attributed to its malevolent grasp. Misfortunes, unexplained disappearances, and a perpetual air of melancholy enveloping the surrounding village. The villagers developed a superstitious respect for the cathedral and its shadows, believing that speaking its name aloud could invite disaster. Thus, the demon remained an ever-present figure in their lives, a dark reminder of the consequences of losing faith and succumbing to despair. As the years passed, the abandoned cathedral transformed from a sanctuary into a forbidding relic, drawing the curious and the daring, those drawn by dark allure who sought to challenge the demon and reclaim the space from its malevolent grip. Driven by the hope of dispelling the curse or confronting their own fears, they ventured into the cathedral's depths. Each braver soul encountered the demon in unique ways, finding that it reflected their inner turmoil, manifesting as gripping illusions or anchoring their deepest regrets and fears. The confrontation with the demon of the abandoned cathedral often takes a psychological turn, casting light on the struggles faced by the characters. They are forced to grapple with their own demons, mortality, guilt, loss, and the consequences of choices made in their own lives. In this way, the demon is not merely an external force, but a mirror reflecting the darkness within, compelling each character to confront the sins of their past. In this tangled dance between a reality and illusion, the cathedral becomes not just a battleground between good and evil, but a crucible where inner conflicts take center stage. Intriguingly, those who navigate the cathedral's haunted corridors might also encounter glimpses of beauty among the despair, a flickering candlelight illuminating forgotten murals or the gentle sound of something once harmonious, hinting at the cathedral's lost glory. In these moments, the story evolves. It shifts from solely fear and revenge into themes of redemption and reclamation. Characters wrestle with their fates, struggling to transform the fearsome reputation of the demon into an opportunity for healing and growth. Ultimately, the climax often unfolds in a final confrontation between the demon and a protagonist, a symbolic face-off that transcends mere flesh and blood. The struggle becomes an exploration of faith, despair, and the fragile balance of hope. This pivotal moment serves as a cathartic release, inviting characters to understand that the power of light can only exist in contrast to darkness. The lesson they learn revolves around the importance of confronting their demons, not only those conjured by the cathedral, but also the internal battles that shape their existence. As the demon of the cathedral is faced with the rawness of human emotion and the resolve of the protagonist, the possibility for redemption looms large. Will the demon be vanquished, or will it transform again into another reflection of the priest's original despair? The outcome is layered and complex, echoing life's unpredictable nature and the cyclical battle between faith and doubt. In modern interpretations of the demon of the abandoned cathedral, this tale echoes through literature, cinema, and video games, where creators have woven rich narratives around the themes of fear, regret, and the enduring quest for redemption. The cathedral's haunting specter continues to captivate audiences, serving as a vivid allegory for the internal struggles faced in the mortal experience. Through this Gothic exploration, we are reminded that every shadow carries with it a flicker of light, that every act of despair can pave the way for hope, and that the most pervasive demons often reside within us. The narrative encourages introspection, urging us to face the darkness head-on, not only as an act of courage, but as a means of spiritual evolution. Ultimately, the tale of the demon of the abandoned cathedral invites listeners to wander the darkened halls of their own experiences, to confront their shadows and seek the light hidden within. As we engage with this rich narrative, we discover not just the essence of a haunting legend, but an exploration of love, loss, faith, and the unyielding human spirit's capacity to rise above even the most consuming darkness. Herein lies the true essence of the cathedral's heart. It is a sacred space where the battle of souls unfolds, illuminating the extraordinary power of resilience against the shadows that seek to engulf us. In the twilight realm, where sea and sky blur into one, a tale emerges from the depths of the ocean, shrouded in legends and whispered warnings. The story of the cursed pirate ship, known as the Ghosts of the Abyss. This chilling narrative, steeped in maritime lore, speaks of sunken treasures, vengeful spirits, and a relentless pursuit that transcends death itself. As we navigate the ghostly waters of this tale, we will unravel the ship's dark history, explore the enigmatic figures aboard, and uncover the harrowing themes of greed, betrayal, and the eternal consequences of a life lived by the sword. The narrative begins in the age of piracy, when the seas were ruled by daring buccaneers, treasure hunters, and ruthless captains. Among them was Captain Elias Blackthorne, a man whose name was feared and revered across the Caribbean for his unyielding ferocity and cunning strategies. His notorious ship, the Revenant, sailed the treacherous waters with a crew cast from the mold of legends, men hardened by battle, loyal to their captain, and driven by the promise of abundant riches. The Revenant was an ebony silhouette against the moonlit waves, a harbinger of doom to all who crossed its path. However, the allure of treasure weighed heavily on Blackthorne, igniting a fierce obsession that ultimately fueled his tragic downfall. One fateful night, during a violent storm that raged and twisted the ocean, Blackthorne stumbled upon a fabled treasure, a wealth so vast it gleamed like the stars above. However, the treasure was cursed, bound by dark magic crafted by ancient sorcerers who had protected it for centuries. Ignoring the whispered warnings of his crew, driven by greed and hubris, Blackthorne seized the treasure, unwittingly ushering in a dark fate. The moment Blackthorne took the cursed loot, the Revenant was plagued by a cataclysm of supernatural wrath. The sky darkened, and the sea roared with unnatural fury, as the very spirits of the sea rose in vengeance against the ship and its crew. The Revenant became an ethereal specter, wandering the abyss, cursed to sail eternally, seeking the treasure that led to its doom. The crew, bound by blood and betrayal, was trapped between worlds, their souls shackled to the ship, forever haunted by the sins of their captain. As time passed, tales of the Ghosts of the Abyss spread through port towns, and mariners began to share ghostly sightings of the ship materializing from thick mists, radiant with an otherworldly glow. Sailors spoke of hearing the mournful cries of lost men, of a ship that glided eerily through the darkness, beckoning lonely vessels to join their cursed fate. Those who dared approach often vanished without a trace, leaving behind only ghostly legends that sent shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned sailors. Yet the legend of the Ghosts of the Abyss drew an unlikely band of seekers, adventurers and scallywags alike lured by the promise of untold riches. Each carried their motivations. Some sought fame, others vengeance against the sea's inexplicable mysteries, while a few hoped to free the trapped spirits from their eternal torment. It is within this context that our story takes shape, an audacious expedition led by a brave and somewhat reckless captain, Clara Hayes, who was determined to uncover the truth behind the ghostly ship. Driven by tales passed down through generations, Clara felt a deep connection to the lore of the Revenant, her own family history intertwined with that of the cursed ship. With an eclectic crew made up of misfits and outcasts, including a superstitious navigator, a skeptical historian, and a skilled gunslinger with his own vendetta against ghosts, Clara set sail into the perilous waters, unearthing dark secrets that lay beneath the surface. However, danger lurked not only in the belly of the ocean, but within the hearts of her crew. Discontent and greed simmered just beneath the surface, threatening to tear them apart. As the expedition pressed onward, they faced fierce storms, phantom whispers in the night, and unexplained phenomena that tested their resolve. Each trial brought them closer to uncovering the truth behind the curse, and the mysterious bond linking the Revenant's crew to their eternal suffering. Clara and her crew soon learned that the ghosts were not mere specters, but tragic figures, trapped in a vortex of their own despair. The ancient curse bound them together in a perpetual cycle of vengeance, their souls yearning for release as they relived their final moments of betrayal. As Clara navigates the heart-wrenching tale of sacrifice and remorse, the final showdown occurs amidst turbulent seas, heated by fury and longing. The climax reaches a crescendo as Clara reveals the heart of the curse, a profound lesson about the consequences of greed, emphasizing that true treasure lies not in gold or fame, but in forgiveness and unity. In redemption's light, the spirits find peace. The revenant is set free from its eternal torment, and the ocean's depths settle into serene calmness. Clara and her crew emerge forever altered, carrying the weight of the stories they uncovered, a deeper understanding of the pain that often haunts the human spirit. As they sail back to shore, the echoes of their encounter remain etched into their hearts, a reminder that the abyss holds more than mere darkness. It holds the intertwining stories of choices made and the bonds that transcend even the depths of despair. The tale of the cursed pirate ship. Ghosts of the Abyss continues to resonate in coastal towns and among adventurers, echoing the timeless messages of reconciliation, the complexities of human ambition, and the undying spirits that haunt our past. It encourages reflection on the burdens we carry, the legacies we forge, and the paths we choose in the face of darkness. So as the moonlight dances upon the waves, remember the tales that arise from the depths. For every legend has a heartbeat driven by love, loss, and the hope for redemption amid the wild tides of the sea. In a remote mountain monastery secluded from the chaos of the world, lies a sanctuary steeped in ancient traditions and forgotten lore. At its heart resides the enigmatic figure known only as the Shadow Monk, a custodian of forbidden secrets that have been shrouded in mystery for centuries. This tale weaves together elements of mysticism, personal sacrifice, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. The story begins in a time long ago, when the monastery stood as a beacon of knowledge, attracting seekers of wisdom from far and wide. The monks dedicated their lives to meditation, martial arts, and the pursuit of enlightenment. Among them was a young novice named Tenzin, whose curiosity often led him to venture beyond the prescribed teachings of his masters. He was a gifted student, already showing promise in his martial abilities, yet his insatiable thirst for understanding often placed him at odds with the more restrained tenets of monastic life. One fateful evening, while wandering through the monk's library, a labyrinthine collection of scrolls and tomes, Tenzin stumbled upon a hidden chamber, its entrance concealed behind a towering shelf of faded manuscripts. Inside, he discovered texts that spoke of profound and arcane practices, knowledge that held the potential to unlock unimaginable power. However, these secrets came with dire warnings of moral decay, endless ambition, and the shadow of suffering that could envelop those who sought to wield them. His heart racing with excitement and the thrill of forbidden knowledge, Tenzin felt the ancient pull of the teachings beckoning him closer. Unbeknownst to him, the mastery described in those scrolls belonged to the Shadow Monk, a legendary figure whose presence had long been a matter of myth, the last remaining guardian of this arcane wisdom, tasked with protecting the world from the darker forces seeking to exploit it. When Tenzin finally encountered the Shadow Monk, clad in a cloak that seemed to absorb the very light around him, he found himself face to face with an embodiment of serenity and darkness. The monk was a figure of paradox. His eyes revealed centuries of wisdom, yet spoke of tragedy and loss. As Tenzin listened intently, the Shadow Monk recounted his own past as a once brilliant master who embraced the darker arts, believing that power could be used for good. However, it came at an enormous price. His journey through the abyss had tainted his spirit, binding him to the shadows he sought to conquer. Realizing the weight of the secrets he had discovered, Tenzin became conflicted. The allure of the forbidden knowledge promised a quick path to mastery, yet the consequences were woven through the very fabric of the Shadow Monk's tale. Torn between ambition and integrity, he faced the ultimate dilemma: to pursue the dark path less traveled, risking his soul, or to honor the teachings of the monastery that had nurtured his growth. In this tense moment, the shadow monk offered to teach Tenzin the way of control, the discipline necessary to harness power without succumbing to its seduction. Tenzin accepted, trading his naivety for wisdom, embarking on a path of rigorous training that pushed the boundaries of his physical and spiritual limits. Under the monk's tutelage, he practiced martial arts, meditation, and the honing of his inner energy, learning to balance both light and darkness within himself. However, as the teachings deepened, so did Tenzin's understanding of the world beyond the monastery. His journeys through the shadowed paths of existence revealed the fractured nature of humanity, its struggles interwoven with ambition, despair, and the relentless pursuit of power. The further he ventured into mastery, the more he became aware of the dangers that lurked outside, threatening to undermine the peace the monastery had safeguarded for generations. Yet with every step toward enlightenment, Tenzin grappled with his inner demons. Visions of power and glory taunted him, whispers that promised recognition and dominion over others. The allure of using his skills for personal gain emerged like a tempest, steeped in the seductive nature of the forbidden knowledge he had uncovered. In moments of weakness, he felt the distinct pull of the shadows, threatening to consume what he had fought so hard to cultivate, a deep-rooted passion for truth and peace. As tensions between light and dark crescendoed, the monastery faced an external threat in the form of a rival faction eager to seize the power hidden within the sacred texts. This group, fueled by greed and ambition, sought to unravel the ancient knowledge for their own malevolent ends. In this moment of crisis, Tenzin faced not only the reflections of his past choices, but also the culmination of all he had learned from the Shadow Monk. The climactic battle unfolded as the rival faction sought to invade the monastery, igniting a clash between those who revered the sanctity of knowledge and those who sought to wield it like a weapon. Tenzin, alongside the Shadow Monk and the other monks, stood to protect their home. The struggle became as much internal as it was external. Tenzin needed to summon every lesson learned to resist the temptations of power and lead his companions with unwavering resolve. During the fight, the Shadow Monk remained a guiding presence, using his wisdom to fortify Tenzin's spirit. Embracing both the light and joy of camaraderie, as well as the pain of loss, Tenzin emerged not only as a warrior, but as a beacon of hope. The battle raged fiercely, but victory lay not just in defeating their adversaries, but in the understanding of unity against the darkness. In the aftermath, Tenzin stood transformed, a keeper of balance, embodying the teachings of the Shadow Monk. Having faced his own darkness, he realized that true mastery lay in the acceptance of imperfection and vulnerability. He understood that the secrets of the past were meant to be honored, not exploited. That knowledge could only thrive when shared within the context of compassion and humility. Inspired by newfound purpose, Tenzin chose to embrace his role as a guardian of wisdom, vowing to pass on the teachings of the Shadow Monk while protecting the sacred ethos of the monastery. And as the seasons changed, the monastery continued to stand as a testament to the struggle between light and shadow, a sanctum where the keeper of forbidden secrets fostered a legacy of balance and peace, the tale of the Shadow Monk. Keeper of Forbidden Secrets captures the essence of humanity's eternal quest, our struggle between ambition and integrity, the quest for knowledge and the acceptance of our flaws. It serves as a reminder that the path toward enlightenment is often littered with choices that shape our destinies, and that true mastery lies not in the pursuit of power, but in the courage to embrace the shadows that accompany our journey. In this duality, the tale resonates within each of us, urging us to navigate our own paths of wisdom and ensure that, in the end, we become the guardians of light in our world. In a small, fog-shrouded village nestled deep within a forest, tales of terror whispered through the air on nights of the full moon. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the creature that prowled the shadows, a werewolf. For generations, their lives were marked by fear and uncertainty, as each month brought the promise of bloodshed and carnage. But amid the darkness, there stood a figure whose resolve held the promise of hope, the Werewolf Hunter. Our story begins with a young woman named Alara, born into the fabled lineage of the Hunter, one entrusted with the sacred duty of ridding the world of werewolves. Her family had been the guardian of this ancient legacy, bound by blood and honor to combat the darkness that lurked in the woods surrounding their home. Tragedy struck when Alara was just a child. Her parents were brutally slain by the creature, leaving behind a blood-soaked legacy that fueled her determination to avenge their deaths. Years passed and the village continued to be ravaged by the werewolf's relentless assaults. Night after night, howls echoed through the trees, sending villagers scurrying to their homes, bars secured and fire stoked. Fear turned to desperation, and whispers of hopelessness ridden the hearts of the townsfolk. However, deep within Alara, a fire burned bright, one that could not be extinguished by the shadows of the past. On the eve of a fateful full moon, Alara decided to confront the beast that had haunted her dreams for far too long. The air was thick with tension, crackling with the anticipation of violence. With resolve etched on her face, she donned her family's heirloom armor, its surface scarred from countless encounters, yet imbued with the weight of her ancestors' wisdom. Clutching a silvered sword forged specifically for slaying werewolves, she carved her path into the heart of the foreboding forest, determined to face the monster that had stolen her family and plunged her village into darkness. As Alara ventured deeper into the woods, she encountered spectral trees, gnarled and twisted, silhouetted against the silvery light of the full moon. Shadows flickered and danced, and the forest seemed to conspire with the night. It was then that she felt it, the unmistakable presence closing in. A low growl reverberated through the air, sending waves of adrenaline through her veins. The time had come. Emerging from the shadows, the werewolf appeared, a towering figure with haunting yellow eyes, gleaming fangs bared, hunched over in a predatory stance. The beast was a living nightmare, its fur matted with remnants of past hunts. Alara locked eyes with her nemesis, the very embodiment of her fears. But the fear she had carried for so long transformed into a fierce determination. "I will end this tonight," she declared, brandishing her sword, feeling the weight of her lineage behind her. The werewolf lunged, claws outstretched, but Alara stood firm. In the ensuing battle, they clashed with primal ferocity, a whirlwind of steel and claw, agility and raw power. Alara was skilled. With every parry and jab, she recalled the lessons her parents taught her, how to anticipate the monster's moves and how to stay one step ahead. But the werewolf was quick and cunning, striking like a shadow, every near miss a reminder of mortality. Despite her training, doubt flickered within her. Fear of failure weighed heavy on her heart. The battle raged on, and just as it seemed the beast might overwhelm her, Alara remembered a crucial lesson: the strength of the heart. In that moment of clarity, a deep-seated rage ignited within her, a rage not just toward the beast that had stolen her family, but toward the cycle of violence that had consumed her life. With fiery resolve, she tapped into a power she had yet to fully embrace, channeling her anguish and courage into one decisive blow. Drawing on every ounce of strength, she plunged her silvered sword deep into the werewolf's heart. Time seemed to freeze. The forests hushed as if holding its breath. The creature let out a bone-chilling howl that echoed through the trees before collapsing, the fire in its eyes extinguishing as the moonlight dimmed against the fading life of the beast. But as the werewolf fell, something unexpected happened. As its form convulsed and twisted, Alara noticed a transformation that revealed not a monster but a man, a casualty of a curse that had stolen his humanity and bound him to darkness. Confusion and sorrow washed over her as she recognized the man. Once a friend from her childhood, Thomas, a kind-hearted villager who had been missing for weeks. In that heart-wrenching moment, Alara was faced with the reality of the curse that turned men into beasts. The village's hatred had not just fueled fear, but had bred misunderstanding. Realizing the complexity of the evil she had faced, Alara was thrust into a moral quandary. Revenge had blinded her to the humanity lurking within the shadows. In the stillness of the night, Alara wept for the loss of a friend and for all those who had fallen victim to the curse. As dawn broke, illuminating the forest with a gentle glow, Ilara knew she had to act, not just as the hunter who avenged her family, but as a healer who would protect her village from ignorance. She resolved to embrace her role not only as a slayer of beasts, but as a guardian for those caught between light and shadow. Returning to the village, she gathered the townsfolk and revealed the painful truth. The fear that had long held them captive had distanced them from compassion and understanding. Ilara shared her vow to seek a way to break the curse that had claimed both Thomas and others like him. Working together, they embarked on a quest toward understanding, not just for revenge, but for healing and unity. As the nights of the full moon continued to rise, the villagers no longer cowered in fear, but instead began to recognize the humanity that existed within the curses. Through shared stories and allies forged in compassion, Ilara and the villagers sought a path toward breaking the chains of darkness that plagued their land. A crusade to bring light back into the hearts of those afflicted. Ilara became a symbol of hope, a werewolf hunter not just of bodies but of souls. Through her journey, she learned that facing darkness often involves confronting the complexities of fear, forgiveness, and the very essence of life and humanity. In her heart, she knew that the cycle of violence could only be vanquished through understanding, and that even in the darkest of nights, the seeds of redemption can take root, paving the way for a brighter dawn. Thus, the tale of the Werewolf Hunter, Night of the Full Moon, carries with it a lesson for all who hear it. That in the fight against darkness, it is often the light we bear within our hearts that holds the power to change destiny and heal the wounds of our past. In the heart of feudal Japan, where legends blurred the lines between the mortal and the supernatural, there existed a forsaken village known as Kamiyama. Once a thriving community, it succumbed to a haunting tale of an ancient set of samurai armor imbued with the restless spirit of its last wearer, a proud warrior who fell in battle defending his honor and homeland. The story begins with a young blacksmith named Haruto, a skilled artisan known for crafting fine weapons and armor. His father, a former samurai, had instilled in him the values of loyalty, honor, and the profound respect for the spirits of the past. One fateful day, while exploring the outskirts of Kamiyama, Haruto stumbled upon a crumbling shrine, its entrance entwined with vines and thick foliage. Inside, he discovered a set of armor cloaked in dust and shadows, its intricate patterns hinting at a once glorious history. Drawn to the armor and oblivious to its dark rumors, Haruto brought it back to his forge. As he polished the metal and restored its faded luster, he felt an unsettling presence lurking within the cold steel. Night after night, strange phenomena began to occur in the village. Disembodied whispers echoed through the streets, while shadows seemed to dance in the corners of Haruto's vision. Villagers soon whispered of the haunted armor, warning him that it bore a curse, a spirit trapped within, yearning for vengeance. But Haruto was captivated by the armor's beauty and craftsmanship. He saw the potential for honor and glory, dreaming of becoming a great warrior himself. Despite the warnings and the escalating disturbances, he disregarded the villagers' fears, convinced that the armor could be a conduit for strength rather than a vessel for malevolence. As the full moon approached, rumors spread through Kamiyama of a band of rogue samurai planning to raid the village. The threat loomed large, forcing Haruto to make a fateful choice. Driven by a sense of duty to protect his home, he donned the haunted armor, believing it would grant him the power needed to confront the impending danger. The moment he fastened the last plate, an eerie silence enveloped him, as if a grip of fate had taken hold. An ancient voice reverberated in his mind, speaking of honor and betrayal, war and honor lost. Haruto felt a rush of strength coursing through him, but at a price. The spirit of the fallen samurai awakened, whispering long-forgotten grievances that stirred within, infusing Haruto's heart with a yearning for revenge. As the rogues descended upon Kamiyama, Haruto stepped forward, wielding his katana with newfound ferocity. The air crackled with tension as the two sides clashed, and Haruto fought valiantly, the spirit urging him on with its voracious desire for bloodshed. With each strike, he felt the intoxication of power, a thrilling rush that blinded him to the consequences of his actions. But as the battle raged, the wrath of the spirit surged through him uncontrollably. Instead of a protector, he became an agent of chaos, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. The villagers watched in horror as Haruto, once their beacon of hope, succumbed to the armor's curse and became what he had sworn to fight against. In the throes of chaos, the ghostly visage of the samurai emerged before Haruto, its features twisted in anguish. You seek to honor me, and yet you become the very thing I fought against. You wield my armor, but my vengeance is not yours to claim. Honor is not found in bloodshed, but in the compassion you show when facing darkness. The weight of his actions flooded Haruto's conscience as he grappled with the spirit's words, fighting for control over his body. In that split moment, he glimpsed the cycles of pain, of a warrior lost, of blood spilled in the name of vengeance, only to create more suffering. Realizing the true nature of the curse that bound the armor, he saw that the spirit sought not revenge but redemption. In an act of sheer will, Haruto turned the sword against himself, plunging it into the ground, severing the connection between himself and the spirit of the samurai. The ground trembled, and the air filled with a terrifying howl as the armor clanked to a halt, its hold breaking as the spirit bled out its fury into the earth itself. With a breathless gasp, Haruto collapsed, the armor stripped of its power, and the spirit released from its torment. As dawn broke over Kamiyama, he lay among the wreckage of the battle, his body battered, but his spirit liberated. The villagers gathered, eyes wide with disbelief, not knowing whether to celebrate or mourn, for Haruto had risked everything to save them, even from himself. Recognizing the weight of the sacrifice and the lesson learned, the villagers lifted Haruto from the ground, offering their gratitude and forgiveness. They understood now that true honor stemmed not from bloodshed and violence, but from acknowledging the cost of choices made in desperation. As for the haunted armor, it was returned to the shrine, this time treated with respect and reverence. The village came together to honor the spirit of the fallen samurai, performing a ritual that would ensure its rest. A peaceful offering was placed within the shrine, signifying their commitment to remember the sacrifices of the past while striving for a future filled with empathy and understanding. Years later, the legend of the haunted samurai armor became a cautionary tale passed down through generations. It served as a reminder of the fine line between honor and vengeance, and how the true power of a warrior lies not in the blade they wield, but in the choices they make. As Haruto settled into a life of humility, he understood that the next chapters of life are not defined by our battles, but by the hearts we touch along the way. Through his journey, he became not just a guardian of his village, but a dedicated protector of their shared humanity, forever aware that the whispers of the past guide the fate of the present, forging a legacy of honor that lives on unbroken through time.